Hello everyone, good morning from Israel. David Lang here with my weekly fireside chat. Hopefully some people are watching this today, and if not, there'll be a recording of this. First of all, hope everyone's okay, being safe and healthy. I'm still doing my barbecue today, even though during these 9 days, it's called the 9 days of Av in the Jewish calendar, where we actually don't eat meat. So I haven't eaten meat for a number of days, but we're allowed to eat meat on the Sabbath, Shabbat. So I'm still barbecuing, and I've actually barbecued quite a bit. And the deal is we have to eat that more or less on Shabbat. I mean, we do have to eat it on Shabbat, so it's a bit of a challenge to finish that meat. I think I'm up to the challenge, by the way. Okay, so today I actually wanted to talk about, the topics have sort of repeated in a way. We're talking about Black Lives Matter and anti-Semitism, but it really is the hot topic of the day. I could talk about coronavirus, but that wouldn't be as interesting, I guess. I wanted to talk about Nick Cannon, Cannon-gate, as it were. And I posted a number of things about him. He is this celebrity. He's a personality in the States. He was the host of America's Got Talent, host of The Masked Singer. He's got a popular radio show. He's millions and millions of followers on social media. By the way, it doesn't matter. You know, I get this comment sometimes when I write about people spreading anti-Semitism. I get the comment, I've never heard of this person. As if this person is going to not sleep at night that you haven't heard of them. The point is, Nick Cannon has millions of followers, so it's not relevant whether you've heard of him or not. He has influence, and that is a major reason why I've written about him. So if you recall, if you've been reading my posts, or if you've just been reading the news, Nick Cannon had a show, Cannon's Class, or something along those lines. And he interviewed Public Enemy's Professor Griff, a rapper and an acolyte of Louis Farrakhan, Black Hitler, as I call him. And there was a lot of anti-Semitism going on there, and it wasn't just anti-Semitism, there's also very anti-white sentiments going on in that podcast, in that video blog, whatever you want to call it. And as a result, he, was talking about the Hebrews, the fake Jews, and the blacks are the real Jews, and things like that, and that white people are naturally violent. Really disgusting stuff. So when he was actually fired from his gig at Viacom CBS, I was happy about that, and I still stand by that. It was the right thing to do. He wasn't fired from all his gigs. He wasn't fired from The Masked Singer. I'll get to that in a minute. Because basically he then apologized. But his apology, in my opinion, seems sincere. And I want to go into that because basically before Shabbat last week, I wrote a post about it. And although the overwhelming majority of people agreed with me, not that I need people to agree with me, there were some people that disagreed with me, and some people actually that disagreed with me in a very nasty way, to the point that I actually even banned them from the page. As a little tangent, and I want to make this clear, okay? I'm professing opinions. I have a platform here, and I'm professing an opinion which is no more legitimate to anyone else's opinion. You can take it or leave it. I want you guys to think, just like when you comment to me, as long as you couch your comment in a way with logic and evidence, and it isn't just an insult, I will listen, and I will learn. I hopefully will learn something from that, and I can also change my mind about it. But if you just come and disagree with me in a way which is just like, I got some comments, for instance, that you apologize for anti-Semites, which is highly offensive given the personal price I've paid for going after anti-Semites in a way that most of you out there wouldn't dare do. And again, I'm not blowing my own trumpet, but it's just that I'm explaining why it's insulting to me. So again, you can disagree, but please do it in a respectful way. When you come to visit my website or my Facebook page, it's like my home and you're a visitor. And I want you to please treat the host with respect, but also treat other visitors with respect as well. It's just more constructive if we have discussions like that instead of in a way that, I've attributed it more to the left, shutting down people. But there have been a few people, unfortunately, on our side that also like to shut you down when they disagree with you. Okay, that was a bit of an aside. So getting back to Nick Cannon. So I believed he was contrite. He said he wanted to build bridges between the communities. He also showed a clip where he had Rabbi Cooper from the Simon Wiesenthal Center on. I'll get into that in a minute because we saw the whole video where he interviewed him. And he said he wants to learn. And some people were very skeptical. They think it's just to save his tuchus. Although, I mean, I believe, you know, he's so wealthy, and he had Diddy say he could use that platform. Diddy's got the Revolt or Revolting TV that allowed Farrakhan on. So I didn't believe it. I mean, again, this is just my opinion, so take it or leave it. But I'm now going to explain why I believe what I believe and why I think it's important not just to give Nick Cannon another chance, but also to even support him, which was quite controversial. But hear me out. And then afterwards or during it, please leave your comments. And if you disagree with me, please tell me why in a respectful way. And I will totally listen. And, you know, I'm willing to admit I was wrong and learn from this. I mean, that's the way we should all be, I think. Okay, so Nick Cannon. So as I mentioned, this is why. So before I get into that, so then I saw the YouTube interview with the rabbi from Simon Wiesenthal Center, and I already wrote about it. You can check it out on my blog. I thought he was sincere, but one thing that stuck out is, you know, he wants to learn, but he couldn't bring himself to say, I condemn Louis Farrakhan, which we could just say, okay, that's it. You're irrelevant. And that's it, you're not sincere. But, you know, I think sometimes we have to look into the mind of our opponent and try to see what's going on here. Because we're obviously looking at Louis Farrakhan with the prism of the Black Hitler, the anti-Semite that he is. He's one of the most evil people in the world. I stand by that. And I would ideally like people to condemn him outright. But listening to Nick Cannon, I guess the penny dropped, as we say, Nafal Asimon in Hebrew, that basically he's a hero to the black community because he's done a lot of good for them. He's empowered them. They've had, you know, centuries of being degraded, and here he comes along and he's really empowering them. I mean, by the way, I'm looking at it from their point of view, okay? Again, he's an evil piece of garbage from my point of view, and he should be seen as such. But I'm trying to go into the mind of someone like Nick Cannon, who I believe has been brainwashed, because he's grown up with this hero of the black community that has empowered them. And as part of what he says, he talks about them being the real Hebrews and the chosen of God. Wow, what a salesman, right? I mean, it's not true. And right, I don't believe it's true, but he's selling this to them and it sounds great. And to a young black kid growing up in the hood, so to speak, this would be very promising and sound great and the light at the end of the tunnel. And as part of that, he's talking it might be gibberish to them, or maybe they understand, but he's talking about the synagogue of Satan and all sorts of stuff, which we know means the Jews, and he says a lot of outright bad things about the Jews. Now, again, I'm not apologizing for Louis Farrakhan, but I'm trying to get into the head of these people and some of these celebrities. Like Nick Cannon, I'm assuming that he might have grown up with that, and yeah, he believed it, but on a kind of superficial level. And again, it's evil, it's wrong, and it should be called out, and I'm glad that Nick Cannon was fired from Viacom CBS, but now I'm looking at his subsequent steps. So it seems to me that Nick Cannon is like, okay, he can't bring himself to condemn Louis Farrakhan, and he really should, but I want to give him a chance, is what I'm saying. I think if you believe a certain point of view for so long, it's hard to deprogram yourself from that. And I think that he wants to slowly learn, and he's learning more about Judaism, and about where Louis Farrakhan is wrong. Again, he's still not willing to condemn him. And by the way, he hasn't condemned the anti-white statements, and I'm hoping that will come as well, because that's very important. But I'm just saying, give him a chance. And maybe I'm wrong, and maybe we shouldn't give him a chance, but what's the worst that can happen? Okay, I was wrong, and you have another black anti-Semite out there spreading their garbage, but the upside is really high, and that's where it comes from, my point of view. You see, I have a saying. My saying is this: it's better to be smart than right. And I keep saying this. Meaning, maybe the right thing, you know, you might say it's wrong and he should go, unless he condemns Louis Farrakhan, that's it. We don't forgive him and we shouldn't give him a chance. That's maybe the right thing. But the smart thing is to think strategically and say, listen, we're never going to get out of this cycle of anti-Semitism. We can cancel all the anti-Semites as they pop up like whack-a-mole, and we'll never get anywhere. And it will just perpetuate the cycle of hate. And then they'll talk about Jewish power and being cancelled, etc., etc. Not that I don't think some people should lose their jobs if they're hardcore anti-Semites. I'll get into that in a minute. But what I'm saying is you've got someone with millions of followers. He's a very influential guy. And he's getting a lot of flack. I don't think there's been one positive comment from his community about him, the rapprochement that he's shown towards the Jewish community. And that's why I think we should support him, because by supporting him and propping him up, he could continue along this very difficult path that he's paved for himself and hopefully bridge between the communities. And maybe, again, maybe I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. But that's kind of where I'm looking at in terms of being smart and not necessarily right. And if I'm right as well as being smart, then there's a big payoff here. He could influence a lot of young people and to dissociate from Farrakhan and his beliefs, at least the anti-Semitic beliefs, but slowly, hopefully, Louis Farrakhan's like 89. He's not going to live forever, right? Hopefully not. And then hopefully after he leaves this mortal coil, shuffles off this mortal coil, then there'll be more honesty about what he really stood for. Anyway, that's sort of where I'm coming from, exactly actually where I'm coming from. So I believe, oh, by the way, as a postscript, Nick Cannon then did visit, after the interview, he visited the Simon Wiesenthal Centre, and he's donating the first salary check, I believe, from The Masked Singer. That was the show that Fox didn't cancel him from, even though many people were baying for his blood, and they thought he should have been cancelled from that and fired. He's donating it to the Simon Wiesenthal Centre. So all I'm saying is this. Let's give him a chance, because there's a big upside to this. I believe if you get people from within their community who are able to be friends with Jews, humanize Jews, are willing to, let's say, rebut the falsehoods about Jews, then that's a really positive thing, and it's something we should get behind. And again, I might be wrong. And if I'm wrong, then what's the deal? Look at the downside. The downside is that you guys, okay, whoever thinks I was wrong, okay, you were right, and he's just going to be an anti-Semite. And that's it. He'll just continue doing what he did a week or two ago. But I think it's worth a chance with someone with so many followers within the community. You know, look at Zach Banner. Zach Banner's the NFL player who, has spoken out against the anti-Semitism, and he's got a big following as well. And you need more people like that. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. That's the answer. The answer isn't just to fire anyone and that's it. Speaking about the cancel culture and firing people, so I would draw a distinction between hardcore anti-Semites who are unrepentant and those that show contriteness. So you look at the anti-Semites that I expose on my website, and I'm all for cancelling them and getting them fired. I mean, if people want, I haven't personally approached employers, but if anyone wants to, and they're spreading anti-Semitic tropes and they do it again and again and again and they don't care, be my guest. But with someone like Nick Cannon, I just see someone that seems sincere. Again, maybe I'm wrong, and I'm willing to admit if I'm wrong, but he seems like, you don't see that from the hardcore anti-Semites. I've never seen one hardcore anti-Semite saying I'm wrong and I want to I want to be a bridge between my community and the Jewish people. I've never seen that amongst the hardcore anti-Semites. And Nick Cannon seems to be different in that case. Now, if you still argue, well, he just doesn't want to lose his job. I addressed that at the beginning of this talk. He's got enough money. He's filthy rich. He's benefited from capitalism. And he could, again, he's got Diddy offering a platform. I really believe this is a guy that's struggling with things. Again, it's just a feeling. You can't argue with my feeling, just like I can't argue if you think he's being insincere. It's a legitimate opinion. And again, if you have a different opinion than me, please respectfully bring it up. And I'll listen to you. I promise to listen to you as long as you're respectful. I think we really need to be respectful, especially at this time of the Jewish calendar, where we're going to be commemorating the destruction of the temples in a few days. Anyway, that's what I had to say for this week. Stay safe, everyone. Shabbat Shalom. Have a great weekend. And hopefully I'll speak to you again next week. Take care.